What's going on, guys? This is Miasin, and we just got the OCG ban list announced today, actually not too long ago. And I really wanted to go over it with you guys because even though it's the OCG and it's now the TCG, if there might be a world in which we might actually get closer and closer to each other, the TCG and the OCG. So this might be relevant for us. Maybe in the future, maybe our deck list will be pretty much the same thing outside of Max C, of course. I mean, that's kind of asking for a lot because they still have a lot of crazy cards that we don't have. Speaking of the devil, will you look at that? It looks like Chaos Ruler got banned. So let's get right into it. Of course, make sure you like and subscribe. Anyways, the first banned cards. Oh my god, it had to happen, right? Agido and Kelbeck are finally banned. Yeah, it had to happen one day, Like, the shufflers, I want to say, are maybe a little more fair because, I mean, they're really good, but they're more fair. At least they don't make you go, like, plus a lot if you get lucky with mill 5. And especially when you can mill 10 in total, it's kind of too much. And then Chaos Ruler, it was just a matter of time before, before it got banned because the card was way too good. And it was being abused in more than just tier elements. And it's also really easy to summon with the Sinful Spoils engine because the Diabell Star is level 7. And then the spell card summons a level 1 fire. You can summon Jet Synchron, and then you make Chaos Ruler. And then you revive back the Chaos Ruler and the Jet Synchron. You make Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. And you do a lot, actually, so it's pretty nasty. So yeah, obviously, unfortunately, these hits were predictable. It's sad for tier elements because now the deck is truly unplayable. The deck is not good without the Shizus to mill. It was a consistent mill 10 that you were pretty much always accessing because you could go like Curious to mill, and then you were milling the other ones. But now you're not doing that. So you're missing out on mill 15, which is absolutely massive. And again, they only have one Reino Heart and one Field Spell. I mean, you can live with only one Reino Heart, that's fine. But one Field Spell, that kind of hurts, honestly. Even though, again, you can also live without one Field Spell. But they also have 0 Fenriers. So it's really not like you can say, oh, you can play Kishtira, Tier Elements. No, you really can't. Anyways, the last ban card is number 86, Heroic Champion, Ron Gominiad. Finally following suit with what we have over here in the TCG. Because this card was banned like several years ago. And honestly, good riddance. Because nothing fair can be done with Rongo. Like, absolutely nothing. The goal of this card is to stun your opponent completely. You can't summon anything. This card is unaffected by card effects, and it can also, I mean, destroy cards your opponent controls, but destroy the whole board, rather, but you need, like, billions of materials for that. But it's still kind of realistic when you're going second with it. This card is obviously really stupid, so I'm really glad that it is no longer among us. So, yeah, again, good riddance. Anyways, for the limited cards now, oh my god, adding insult to injury, like, is that even necessary? Tier Elements Kashtira went from 3 to 1. Like, come on, the deck is already dead. Why are you trying to kick it when it's already on the ground? Like, is this really what, anyone ever asked for? The card is good, but it's not on the same level as Havnis, because, you can't even use it for Kikalos because Kikalos is banned, so this card does nothing. Oh my god. So yeah, the deck went from being, like, already kind of really hurt to, like, beyond unplayable. Like, don't even think about playing tier now. It's just not worth it. You might as well play something else. And then Block Dragon went from 2 to 1, which is one of the stupidest hits I've ever seen in my life, because, again, it's usually played in the 60-card Adam Emancipator, Super Heavy Samurai, whatever deck. It's like a combination of 10 billion things and Vernalizer. And the card is searchable with Galen Granite, so why the frick would you care if it went from 2 to 1? Literally changes nothing, whether it's 1, 2, or 3. If you can search it, you can do a lot of nasty things with it. So it only matters if it's banned, but it's not banned. So in other words, the deck is still just as strong as it was before. Like, this barely changes anything. If anything, it might actually help people deck build better. Because, I mean, probably not, because you still maybe want to play, like, 2 copies of Block Dragon if you can. But honestly, this is, like, extremely minor and honestly just changes nothing. Anyways, for the semi-limits, Rescue Ace Airlifter. This is the monster that searches emergency. Went from 3 to 2. Are you kidding me? Like, this changes, again, absolutely nothing. Rescue Ace was already the best deck before, and Tier Elements wasn't even number 1. It was, like, number 2 or 3, depending on how purely ranks. But now it's like Rescue Ace literally improved with this ban list. And it's not even like you can say that one Airlifter is going to do anything, because most of its competition is dying off. Like, I mean, Tier Elements is, like, super murdered. And again, it wasn't even the best deck, so this makes no sense. And then Delicious Memory, like, come on. This changes nothing from 3 to 2. So now they have 1 Sleepy and 2 Delicious. And over here in the TCG, we have 1 Delicious and 3 Sleepy. So yeah, obviously, purely is way better in the TCG than it is in the OCG. But like, who cares? And again, Rescue Ace is gonna be tier 0 with this ban list, and Centurion. Oh my god, it's gonna be so stupid. And then, yeah, anything that can play the Horus engine outside of, again, tier elements because they're unplayable. So yeah. Anyways, Rivalry of the Warlords. Okay, so that's interesting, actually. It's interesting to see that a Floodgate is finally getting hit, because usually, for some reason, they always dodge the ban list. Rivalry of the Warlords, honestly, not gonna change too much if it's just a 2. I mean, if it's a 2, so it should have gone limited or something. Then it would have been a little more nice, but yeah, I mean, it's a good card, but there's also Goes and Match, and There Can Only Be One, and Skill Drain, and Anti-Spell, and D-Barrier, and all those cards, if I recall correctly, are still unlimited, and that's kind of problematic. Anyways, moving on, we got Girsu, the Orcus Mech Knight, so this is the level 4 monster that Foolish is. It's a really good card, but it was a 1 before, and now it's a 2, and they also have Harp Horror, so you can almost argue that Orcus is kind of full power in the OCG, but they still don't have Mermaid, if I recall correctly, so yeah, Orcus is good, obviously, but it's not, like, unbeatable or something. And then after that, we got Supreme King, Dragon, Darkworm from 1 to 2. So Pendulum is not doing too well in the OCG. I mean, it's doing okay with the Supreme King Magician deck, because it has, like, 1-card combos to summon Zark. Zark is really good. It destroys every card your opponent controls on summon, and in the scale, it's kind of, like, almost a mistake. Whenever your opponent searches, you destroy a card in your opponent's hand or something. And it does a lot. It's actually a really nasty monster. And the Supreme King deck is really good at doing that. And Darkworm is a really good card now because it doesn't just search the 2 bagels. It actually searches other cards because there's more Supreme King monsters. So yeah, Darkworm is really nice to see at more than 1 copy of. And again, they have Electrum over there in the OCG because for the 10th billionth time, the existence of Max C justifies the existence of a lot of unfair cards like Block Dragon, Electrum, and I guess previously Rongo, but no longer the case. So yeah. Anyways, Diagram from 1 to 2, not really relevant. And finally, the Flunderee's Field Spell, which is not nice to see. I hate that deck, so yeah, hopefully nobody keeps playing it because it's not nice. But again, it's the OCG, so I don't really care. You guys can suffer over there. As long as we don't have the same thing in the TCG. As long as the Wind Bear statue never gets unbanned, people never play Flunderees again, you know, I'm fine. But Shifter should definitely go away. Again, I'm totally not biased as a as a graveyard enthusiast. Let me interact with my graveyard, Bernard. Anyways, for the Unlimits now, Armageddon Knight went from 2 to 3, so this is nice, but not super relevant, so whatever. Super Heavy Samurai Bike from 2 to 3. They have the Link 1 monster, so this is very interesting, but it doesn't change too much. I mean, they have like 65 billion 1-card starters anyways, and most of the time I'm only really seeing Super Heavy Samurai as an engine and not really as a deck, so yeah, who cares, right? And Prankid's Meow Meow Mew, I mean, this is really stupid because nobody would ever want to play... Like, this is a 2 of anyways, so it doesn't matter if it's like a 2 or a 3 of when people are only playing 2 copies of Meow Meow in their extra deck, so it's... And nobody's playing Prankits anyways, like, the deck already kind of got power crept by everything else, so whatever. And then Trickstar Light Stage, as if I cared about Trickstar, that deck's ass cheeks. Alright, so pretty much everything in here is irrelevant, and then this is kind of whatever. I mean, the semi-limited section in usual is just whatever. The only card that kind of matters at 2 would be anything that is purely related, because then my friend has a lower likelihood of getting what you want, because when it's a 3, you know for a fact that you're getting it, but when it's a 2, it's a 67% chance, and when it's a 1 of, gotta be good at the game now, son. So yeah, this is the only relevant thing here. And then limited, I guess Tier Elements Kashtira isn't even that relevant because nobody's gonna want to play Tier Elements with none of these cards now, all banned. Like, this is such a biased ban list towards Tier Elements. Like, oh my god, nothing for Rescue Ace almost, outside of Airlifter. And then again, Purely kind of dodged it, so yeah, the 2 best decks are still the 2 best decks. But yeah, anyways, you guys let me know your thoughts about this ban list in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.